He follows his block. He's in. Touchdown, North Dakota. Touchdown, Kaminsky. His second today. Kaminsky rolling out, and he throws to the corner. He's got a man pulled in. Touchdown, Tang Tang. Yes, sir. Touchdown, North Dakota. How about that?
UND Football 360.
Going deep, they've got something they like. It is caught deep downfield. B.J. Fleming, touchdown, North Dakota. Touchdown, North Dakota. 82-yard catch and run, and UND strikes first.
Analysis, commentary, news, and a look ahead. It's all things UND football. This is the UND Football 360 podcast.
Touchdown, North Dakota!
With your hosts, Kelly Howe and Tank McNamara.
Well, I'd like to say the sun did come up Sunday morning, but still hurt a little bit after that tough one in Montana on Saturday as the Hawks drop a tough one, 24-23, leading most of the game. Could you say 85, 90% of that game, and just couldn't hang on and fall in Montana. But the nice thing is we return home and get a little extra celebration out of it as it's homecoming weekend. Tank McNamara, Kelly Howe, the Hall of Famer, which will be official. Is it official yet?
No.
Not till Friday night? Do you get
like
the sword on the shoulder? Are you going to be like knighted?
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Do they have a initiation for new Hall of Famers? You got to go in the back hallway.
Yep.
So what's the deal Friday night? Let's just get that out of the way.
Banquet, about 4:30 at the Alerus Center. They do a nice job, I guess, with a big ballroom, things like that, and be a handful of us going in. And it starts, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then, rolls into starts going about 6. So we have, they do video intros, of, somebody does the video interview about the person. Like, so I don't know, like mine, I think Bubba did mine, or Roger Thomas, but they never really told me. I think it was one of those two. So they sit down and interview them on camera and then just play it up top, I think, for, to talk about the person, and then call the person up,
Okay.
and then, a little 2-3 minute speech, and and then that's it. And you kind of sit there and like I said, there was a bunch of good people going in, bunch of good UND people this year.
You got your speech ready?
Pieces. Yeah, I'm going to get a note card ready because I don't want to lock up there, look like an idiot. So, I'm going to have a note card ready to keep myself online and, just keep it light and quick. Nobody wants to hear me talk, Tank. So,
I agree with you on that. No one, this show's enough.
You're right, Kelly.
Just stop there. Now, I got a board with some of the guys. Is there going to be any tears? I got to know where to put my money on Friday night. Right. Are you going to cry?
No.
Like sweat? The little
sweating.
towel to sweat your head off?
The lights from the ballroom be shining off my bald head or something.
Get the old
powder.
Jerry Tarkanian towel and just bite on that and if you get nervous. But great time. And then all the festivities in the parking lot for tailgating. I'm sure they'll honor you guys at some part during the game, which is well-deserved. Let's go back real quick. It is about your playing career. What's your greatest memory about playing football for the University of North Dakota?
Oh, I don't know if there was one. I'm not like our guy Craig we're going to have on here in a little bit for the folks listening, but he has a definite one. But
is it getting his jersey on the wall at Rumors?
Yeah.
Is that why you went and played?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I keep asking Billy. He's like, no, not interested. And I'm like, all right, whatever, man. Like, all right. So, but no, it's just the general concept of being part of the team. And that's part of what my speech will be about. It's just the teammates. It's like, football is what it is. You're up there to get a degree and you're up there to play football, which football, takes over more of an importance, honestly, for most players, just because it's more fun, right? And it's kind of what you put more time into that than you probably do schooling. But it's not even about the games and stuff. It's just about the whole team and the whole concept on the field, off the field, out at night, having fun, it's about the life in general for me when I look back. Sure, the games are part of it. They're fun, but whatever, they're just one small thing. You know what I mean? It's more of just, I think it was more of a friends and teammates that you made, and just those are the memories that you talk about.
The brotherhood.
Yeah,
it's
it is,
like, right?
It's not even really that you don't ever talk about games. It's always what happened at 2 a.m, or you know what I mean, things like that.
Remember how we made rent that one month in 98?
Yeah, going over and getting our 4 kegs from Billy at Down Under and $5 a cup, and you know what I mean. We got pretty good at that too. But
that's how you guys pass math, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So no, it was things like that. That's what you talk about, and that's the fun of it. So yeah, it's a whole heck of a lot of good memories, Tank.
That's good. That's good. And it'll be fun to hear all that. Well, it is time to move on to the game review. The Kelly Howe Agency game review and development homes guest, Craig Riendeau, joins us. And Craig, I don't know, were you any good at football? We'll let you answer that question.
I was a product of a great system, great coaching, and great teammates.
Hey, you're not you're not playing anymore. You can say whatever you want now. You're not instructed to say that. No, Craig.
No, I think that's honest and fair.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think that's an honest and fair assessment. So
yeah. Well, Craig, longtime member of the staff here at 360. Are we a staff, or are we just a couple knuckleheads throwing this together?
We're pretty formal here. Yeah. This is a staff. Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll have business cards.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But Craig, you were out there, a tough one, 24-23. Let's just get your thoughts being out there and talk about the atmosphere and your takeaway from the game.
Yeah, first time I'd been out to Missoula, so that was a very interesting experience. I'd been out to Bozeman before, back in 2016, the year we won the Big Sky. Bozeman was great. Fans are awesome, very welcoming, very friendly, and the same can be said about these Montana people in Missoula. The fans were great from the tailgating standpoint. During the game, I was on the field, so their ops guys on the field were just so welcoming and friendly, and even after the game when we lost, had a few fans come up to me and say, hey, we really got outplayed by you guys. You guys should have won that game, but you didn't, and you guys are going to be just fine, basically, is what they were saying. So very friendly. Couple fans bought us a couple cocktails, so it was all good. I mean, every fan base has a couple idiots, obviously, but far and away, what a great game day experience, and hats off to Montana and their fan base. Just a bunch of classy people.
Yeah, I saw 26,492 is the attendance that they put there, which is obviously amazing. But as far as that game day, I was told now that got pretty loud when it got loud. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we were in the end zone by the goalpost, and in that fourth quarter, that's one of the louder places I've ever been at. To be honest, it was deafening. I was standing with. So speaking of the game day experience, the alums, Monty Shade, right? Okay,
yeah.
Those guard from the early '90s. He's like the guy out there in Missoula, special agent, I should say, Shade. FBI guy or whatever. So. He showed us the ropes a little bit, had a really nice tailgate spot, and he was tailgating with a bunch of Montana fans. But it was a real awesome experience, and that's a different deal out there. They're right on top of you guys. Like, there's no room on the sidelines. There's maybe like 5 yards of room. So they're right on the top of you, and when they get loud, it's in your ear. And Casey Blue was there. He's Grand Forks Center guy. Keith Jones was there, the old Center guy. Dan Martinson, Jeff Hammis. Those are just the guys that I saw that were there from an alumni standpoint. But yeah, it was a great game day experience.
Back to the game now. UND, geez, like we said, they controlled the game. They played so well, Craig. And, but at the same time, had so many gaffes that, I put a tweet out. They could have been up when I wrote it, they legitimately could have been up 29-7 when I wrote it. And I think it was 16-7 at the time. And it's just like they let Montana hang around, but it was a, like that fan told you, I mean, we should have won the game. It was a fairly dominant effort, even with all the penalties and all the gaffes we had. I mean, you have to kind of leave the game saying, but it's depressing, it's sad, and that we lost the game. But you're more, mad that you just somehow found a way to lose the game. But you're leaving the game saying, "Hey, God, we're okay. We can be okay if we just clean up these little things, right?"
Yeah, that's the most disappointing and probably the most promising thing is that, between the Kansas State game and the Montana game, it's kind of the same thing. Like we had no business losing either of those games. And, Kleiman even told Schmidt at midfield after the game at the handshake, he's like, "Hey, you guys outplayed us, should have won the game." And, at some point we got to start just doing that and finishing the job. Right. So, and there's some good, some growing pains a little bit. And I think, with Schmidt at the helm now, game 3, what do you guys think? I mean,
well, Craig,
we're way ahead of schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've been part of the coaching staff up there, and you've been in meetings, and Kelly, you've been around football long enough. How do you get through to these guys to finish, right? You got to just finish. Well, that's exactly what Schmidt said after the game. We didn't execute at the end.
You can't miss an extra point, okay? You can't get a face mask penalty when you're about to sack them on 3rd and 6 at their own 30. You can't give up the 4th and 12. There's just a handful of plays there where the game is in your hands and you just got to execute, like you said. Like Schmidt was the most pissed off guy in the stadium afterwards, and he hates losing. I mean, obviously, like any other coach, but he's very passionate about, taking this program to the next level. And we've had 2 opportunities to win 2 huge games, and it's gotten away from us because of our own mistakes. And, the officiating, that didn't help either. Being on the sideline and in the end zone, it's hard to see stuff on the field at the time of the game. When I went back and rewatched the game, it was way worse than I thought it was. I mean, that was professional malpractice, and they didn't lose the game for us, but holy smokes. I know for a fact that they sent in a handful of plays to the league office and was like, "Hey, what are we doing here?" So that was discouraging, and I felt bad for them, honestly, after watching the game. I feel bad for them because they just really screwed the game up pretty good. So, but again, we still got to do our own stuff and take care of ourselves. And, that sounds like coach speak, but it is the truth.
Well, if you remember the days of the Big Sky, which, when we covered, when you were on with me, and Shannon and whatnot, we had to deal with this every week. I mean, the Big Sky just has weird calls. They just like to make a weird game for some reason. Because then we had heard the Missouri Valley, officials were bad, whatever. Well, so we came to this league and it's been pretty consistent. I mean, pretty standard, games they call what they call and it seems normal, type of thing. But the Big Sky, you just don't quite know. And there's always somebody who wants to interject himself into the game with a crow hop flag from 30 feet away. And it's like, it's just stuff like that. It's like, God, what is going on with these guys? Well, we saw it again. Okay, that's what we just saw on Saturday. We're like, God, not again. And the problem is UND, let me check my notes here, 9 penalties for 81 yards, and okay, you're going to get penalties, but UND is not a highly penalized team. We never have been, ever, especially under Bubba. We never get penalties. And this year now, all of a sudden we get 9 for 81 out there, and some of them were some difference makers. And it was just bad. I mean, and think about it though. Let's encompass this, Craig, real quick. All of this we just talked about, all of that just awfulness, and UND should have won the game by double digits.
Montana led for 1 minute and 35 seconds of that game.
Yeah. The big guy loves Montana and Montana State, right? That's their nookie blankies, whatever. Then they want them to succeed. And I don't know. I'm going to get off the officiating thing because, again, we need to help ourselves out first and foremost, but it doesn't help when that happens. And again, the only specific penalty that I thought was legit was a face mask. The face mask was an obvious penalty. Turn the guy's head sideways on 3rd and 6. Okay, whatever. So other than that, man, there were a lot of questionable calls. The pass interference calls were BS. Like, I don't know. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. I said I was going to stop, so I'm going to stop right there.
Well, the formation penalty, Kelly, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so the formation penalty, I hear from the coaching staff now, one of our players, okay, the touchdown, we're talking to Hafer, it's a long touchdown to our tight end, which was a big play right to start second half, I believe. That would have been a huge play in the game. They call us for, Watson Hafer, the tight end was covered up by the wide receiver. Okay. The problem is one of our wide receivers who isn't playing was standing next to the ref, within earshot, right next to him, looking down the line and yelled out to Corey Ty, "Move back, Corey. Corey, move back," to get off the line. And Corey Ty physically moved back, like noticeably, in front of everybody. So then, and then I believe the coaching staff even yelled at the ref, he's moving back, or just to let him know. And the play gets called, receiver goes down the field, catches it, flag comes flying out because he was the legal touching, because he can't catch the pass downfield. I guess Schmidt turns to him like, "What are you doing? We just told you he's moving back. We told you," and he physically moved back. Now I replayed it. You can't see it on that because the TV wasn't cut to that angle yet. But when I put a screenshot on Twitter, I'm like, here, you can see he's off the line. The guy on top of the line is on the 18-yard line, 38, 48-yard line, whatever it is. 43, that's what it is, 43-yard line. The guy in the bottom of the screen, Corey Ty, is about at the 42 and a quarter, something like that. I mean, noticeably back. And he still threw the flag, but only after our guy caught the pass wide open running down the middle of the field. Oh, fuck. Well, what the,
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like if he catches it for a 3-yard pass, I don't know. Does that flag come out? I don't know. You tell me, but
home field advantage. Huh?
Well, Jesus.
Kelly, tell everybody what you told me about that guy that texted you and said something about here come the refs.
Yeah, our guy, our FCS Nation guy, he was out in Montana, Kevin. He goes, all of a sudden I'm getting texts in the third quarter. He goes, "Get ready." He goes, "Get ready. Here come the flags." I kind of write him back, "What?" He goes, "Every year the visitors come into Missoula and here come the flags." And sure enough, I mean, my God, the flags just start raining out in the second half. All, questionable big calls, 15-yarders, 10 calling back plays. He goes, "I told you it was coming." After the game, he's just laughing about it. Yeah, but yeah, that's how it goes. So whatever. The nice thing is, here's what we're going to move on right now because we were better than they were, and I would love to play them later in the year. Wouldn't you, Craig? Wouldn't you agree with that, Craig?
That's what I told a few Montana fans. They were gracious enough to say, good job and all that stuff. And I said, "Yep." I said, "I hope to see you guys again in November." And they're like, "I don't think we really want that." So they're pretty grounded that way. Like they knew, everybody knew, everybody watched the game, saw it. So I mean, it was pretty obvious. We just gotta finish them off and execute better, boys.
Yeah, looking at the offense, 460 total yards of offense, 202 on the ground. So still that balance there that we've gotten to know from Isaac Frichte. But I want to talk about the quarterback position. 3 games in, Jerry Kaminsky. Wow, every game he's thrown to 9 receivers. At least 9 different receivers have a completion in every game. So that's cool. He's spreading the ball around, but Even he said after the game, after a, let's see, he was 17 catches for 140 yards. No, what do you have here?
No, 17 completion, 117 for 40. Sorry, that was a typo, 140. So, no, Jerry was 17 for 40, 258 yards.
Craig, we need new producers around here. The producer's an idiot,
Yeah.
I think. But, yeah, Kaminsky, he even admitted after the game that probably it wasn't his best game. He could have made some better checks at the line and some better throws. You got to like that out of your quarterback, right?
Jerry. Here's the thing with Jerry, that there's two things I really like and I'm surprised by. One, he's very poised. I think he's got very good control of everything, like his mental acumen and his moxie, whatever you want to call it, the it factor stuff is really good. And secondly, his athleticism and his running ability, like that to me came out of nowhere. Like I didn't know he had that in him. He's pretty athletic back there, and that's just a huge bonus. Now, you can't go 17 for 40. You can't throw it for 43% clip. That's not going to work, and he knows that. And in the first quarter alone, I counted like 6 legit passes that were wide open. 2 of them touchdowns. One, he missed the post early on, and then he missed dang on a slant. And the next play, I think he threw it to dang again on that corner route or whatever. He's got to be more accurate. And he knows that. You can't miss those easy throws. Kelly mentioned the RPO stuff where he kind of came up short on a few things, kind of short hopped some things, threw up behind a couple guys a few times. And like you said, Jerry mentioned it. He knows, he's aware. He mentioned it in the post game. So there's a lot to build on there, though. So he can be so much better. And when he plays the way he should, we're going to be just.
Well, it's the third start of his career. So let's all roll it back a little bit. Nobody else was very good in their third start either, including myself. So it's like, he's running the offense just fine. He's faster than we thought, which is an awesome bonus for everyone. That 82-yard deep post to BJ Fleming was absolutely gorgeous, Craig. I mean, that thing was put on the money in stride. And I did not know that Fleming was that fast. He was pulling away from those Montana DBs.
He did it the first time too when they missed him.
Yeah,
he was pulling away from him the first time. He got behind him. We were getting behind their secondary consistently in the first half.
Right.
And that's
a good sign moving forward.
And that's an area we've had some concern watching practice. The first couple games, separation hasn't really been our strength. Did you see it? I listened to the game on the radio. Did you guys see it better in this game other than the first half?
Yeah, I think so. It looked better. Fleming's the guy, to do that. The rest, Corey Ty had a nice one. That was against zone across the middle. I think that's what they're searching for. They're searching for the deep threats. It's just they, just don't quite. You got to kind of scheme them up. But now that was so promising to see Fleming do. I mean, it's been years since we've seen a guy bust a post like that. I mean, that was like Clive George's territory from 2016, and he used to do that. But yeah, that was awesome to see. What else? I'm going to look at my notes again here. The defense. Let's move to the defensive side of the ball here, Craig. They only allowed 68 rushing yards on 35 carries. We're undermanned up front right now, but the guys we got are battling their ass off. I mean, what are your early takes on the 4-2-5 defense, Craig?
Yeah, the 4-2-5. I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about this, but just seeing how they're they're putting out personnel and different guys and the flexibility that they have. I'm a fan now. Like and again, this is still early too, but once these kids have some time and opportunity to, make plays, make mistakes, all that stuff, watch the film, Schmidt gets his feet wet with this personnel and gets everybody figured out and where they should be and in what positions. it's exciting. It's exciting and promising. And I think it's a breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, we were both 3-4 guys. That's all I ever played in college, and we were really good at it and big believers in it. But times have changed a little bit here, and I'm really excited, especially after he gets, you know, a couple of recruiting classes under his belt, and puts them in the positions that he wants them to be in. I think the future is really bright for the 425 here at UND.
Being a former corner, Craig, you have to be pretty fired up about the play of Antonio Bluette last week.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen a more impressive quarter of football from a kid, that first quarter, who was basically thrown into the fire because of an injury. That first pick that he made, that was textbook technique, Kelly. I mean, he pinned him against the sideline, put his arm in his chest, basically, rolled the guy, and looking up into the sun, caught the ball. That was an amazing play. Almost picked up another one on the sideline, had another pass breakup, made a couple of really nice tackles in the open field. Wow, that was a pretty impressive game, and as good as everything I just said. Obviously, we had the issue on the 4th and 12, but again, live and learn type of stuff, and that stuff is going to happen with younger players that are just starting.
Craig, as a corner, would you have liked to play in this defense? Because it seems like they trust the corners quite a bit in this defense.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, I don't want to be in the deep third. I want to play man.
Yeah,
no, it's,
you would have had fun in this defense.
Again, I'm still kind of learning the ins and outs of myself. So, but yeah, I just like, there's a lot of flexibility there, you know, and the 5 DBs and everything. And yeah, I think, you know, even in the 3rd and 4th quarter, we started to get more pressure. We got home quite a few times. We have 6 sacks.
Yeah, 6.
6, yeah. So yeah, we got home more towards in the later in the second half, but yeah, I think it's going to be exciting once we get this stuff figured out and have some more games under our belt going in the conference.
And Kelly, Lance Rucker was kind of talked about as someone that could be in a position to have a big year if he wanted to take advantage of it. The edge rusher is part of this new defense, and not a bad day out of Rucker, huh?
Well, that's what we've been waiting for. Yep, Rucker, he's our guy off the edge. He's the one who has to produce. They're going to put him in positions to produce. 2 sacks, 2 TFLs in the game, very noticeable, explosive guy, and that's what they need. You know, we kind of, Kansas State, he didn't get in there a whole lot, and it started to ratchet up here a little bit as we're going on.
Portland State, he made his presence noticed. That
one
times.
running back, a running back got smacked hard. Yeah, that was a noticeable one for the crowd too. But he had a very good game. Here, Craig, I'm gonna fast forward to the end of the half. Okay, that's one that, you know, it's just, I think, how do I put this delicately? You know, I think it's one where, you know, I should say the end half of the second quarter. Let's do both scenarios. First, they went for it on 4th and 4. You know, I believe it would have been a 32-yard field goal, middle second quarter, something like that. Don't get it. They just ran off tackle. You know, it wasn't, I don't know. I think the play wasn't probably the best, but Alerus had hit the field goal prior. So he missed the extra point, doinked the second one through, so they both looked bad. But then he nailed the field goal that he kicked. I mean, just perfect. It was beautiful. Schmidt decides to not kick it, to go, that would have been 16-7 at that point, I believe, something like that. But he decides to not kick it. We don't get it. Okay, there's 3 points we leave on the field. Now, let's forward to the end of the half. We drive down again, pretty much exact same place on the field. We get pushed back, and this one we drive down. now we get second down, and Jerry, 15 seconds left. He drops back and he throws it to Seidel, who you can't throw it to him because we have no timeouts left. Seidel doesn't get out of bounds. He cuts back in, and we end up running out of time. We never even get a kickoff. We can't spike it. Jerry knew the rule, which I don't think anybody really knew, is that under 3 seconds you can't technically spike it in college. So Jerry did what he was supposed to do, I guess, but the whole end sequence was just off. And I don't know, is this something where I think moving forward, Craig, Coach Schmidt's learned from that maybe? You thinking he's going to be a little more assertive on the headset?
Well, I said this during the game when it was coming. I told Casey Blue standing next to me, I said, he's going to go for it. And I liked it then, and I liked it now. Like, I'm totally good with that. I know you mentioned leaving points on the field. I get that. That's, the safe thing to do, but I just knew he wasn't going to do it. I knew he was going to go for it. I like the call, but I don't like the play. And I think if you had asked Isaac in his self-scout of himself if he could have that back, he probably would take it back. They ran a 4th and 4 play that was built for 4th and 1. I think we could have been a little more creative and a little more, dynamic. I would like to have seen Jerry have a run pass option out on the edge or out on the perimeter or something. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Regarding the end of the half, collectively as a team, we had a stroke. There's, like you said, the decision making on multiple ends were problematic. So yeah, and again, to your point about Seidel not getting outside and getting to the out of bounds, and to Jerry fake spiking it and throwing it, and I guess I don't know what you're talking about with the rule. I guess I'm not aware of that, but
you can't spike the ball with under 3 seconds. Yeah, you can't spike the ball with under 3 seconds now in college, right?
Yeah.
Since when?
I don't know. It's a rule though.
I guess so.
It's a rule though, and I think Jerry, that's what he was thinking, and he probably would have been right. So if he'd have spiked it, and let's say they stopped it with 1 second left, I think the refs would have looked up and said, "Well, you can't do that," and just let the clock run out. The half would have been over if that is the rule. Now, this is also the same crew that screwed up a lot of the game, so they might not even know that rule. But we don't know how it would have ended. But yeah, that was that. But the point, back to the point, Craig, we would have liked to seen him go to the end zone. And I'm guessing he was told, okay, with 15 seconds left, you got to go to the end zone. You either throw it in the third row or you throw it in the end zone, and you don't dump it to your back or now worst case scenario, okay, you dumped it to your back. Now running back guy, you need to be smarter and get out of bounds. You can't cut back in. We have no timeouts left.
And Craig, do you think?
Well, and then the cherry on top.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that the cherry on top is that, they threw a flag. I'm like, oh, okay. Defensive pass interference. Nope. Offensive pass interference. I just whatever. I just threw my hands in the air.
And Craig, there's something different now too, where our head coach is the defensive coordinator. Do you think maybe that was a learning moment of how to do all that with Schmidt, maybe off on the side a little bit more? Oh,
I'm sure. I mean, he's got a learning curve, and he's the D coordinator, the head coach. That's a big ask. I mean, a lot of responsibility going on there. Having said that, if there's anybody that I think can do it, it's him. He can handle it. And yeah, there's gonna be growing pains, learning all that stuff. But I mean, the common theme that we're talking about today is that, in my opinion, we are way ahead of schedule with everything. I was not expecting to be that competitive in Manhattan. I was not expecting to be that competitive in Montana on Saturday. So we'll see where it takes us. But I like the direction of where everything's heading.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's positive. They got to learn how to finish it off, just like they said in their post-game presser. He said it on Monday. it's just a team that needs to learn how to win. It's all together. Coaching staff, they need to learn how to close out the game. Everybody needs to come together. Now it's all new, and they could have had both of them easily, but they didn't get them. So now we're 1-2, and you're what your record says you are. And now they got to come back home against Valpo and, get to 2-2, and then a bye week. They got a bye week next week. So I kind of like that because they're beat up. But yeah, I mean, it was, to wrap it up, I appreciate you coming on, Craig. I'm glad, you came on, gave us some insight from out there, because you were there and stuff. But, yeah, it was a winnable game. Didn't win it. But, after all that, all those points left on the field, all those penalties, everything we talked about, in the end, Craig, they lost by 1.
Yeah, we just squandered too many opportunities. And, again, you can't miss an extra point, but there's so many other things you could point to where if we just took care of business, we would have been in really, really good shape. Like Kelly said, I mean, if we do what we're supposed to, we're up 29-7 or something like that in the first half. I mean, it just shows what we're capable of doing, and it's exciting. We'll just have to move on and learn from it.
Yeah. Well, Craig, I know life gets in the way a lot of times for things you want to be at, but yeah, you got kids hockey this weekend, and I know you'd like to be at the Alerus Center on Friday night and Saturday for your good buddy Kelly Howe going into the Hall of Fame. How cool is that to finally see that happening this weekend?
Well, I played with them for 3 years, and nobody more deserving than him. You talk about a quarterback in the huddle on the back end. I mean, you always knew that Kelly was going to line everybody up right. He was going to have the checks right. He's going to put everybody in the best possible position. And obviously his play, speaks for itself. But I still, to this day, I don't know if I've seen a more amazing football play in my entire career of watching football. When I watched him in 1999 or 98, it was 98, when he ran down Josh Rannick from like 30 yards back, grabbed him at the 5-yard line, punched the ball out, and punched it in the end zone, and Brant Grimes fell on it. That still, to me, to this day, is the most amazing football play I've ever seen. Kelly's just was an unbelievable player, unbelievable leader. I'm sad that I can't be there, Kelly, but I just want you to know that you are more than deserving, and it's long overdue. So congratulations, and have a good time with the weekend.
All right. Thanks, Craig. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, we had some good memories back there. Played a lot of games together. And, the funny thing about that play with Rannick is Coach Schmidt and I messed up the blitz on he was the one side, I was the other. We lined up on the wrong side. We both lined up on the same side, look at each other. We know that's not right. So I run over to the other side as fast as I can. They snap the ball, hand it off, run right up the middle. So both of us are worthless because we're coming off the edge. Wheel around quick and had to start chasing them down. And it turned out well, but it certainly didn't start well.
Well, great comments there, Craig. But I also had a chance to visit with Eric Schmidt about this weekend as well, and this is what he had to say.
One of the smartest football players I think that I've been around. Just has a real sixth sense for where the ball is going to be and showing up at the right time, and was one of the best safeties to play here. And excited for Kelly to be able to enjoy that and to do it. I think at an age yet where his family can enjoy it. You know what I mean too as well. His parents and his family is going to be really cool for him to be able to experience that and to go in the Hall of Fame. Like you said, much well deserved for him to be able to receive that honor.
Did he talk on the field like he does on the podcast some days? I mean, some days his mouth, I think, gets him in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, no, he was a man of probably few words, but he was definitely crafty, and when he would decide to be able to speak. But I think breathed a lot of confidence into a lot of people. Held himself to a high standard, and was one of those guys that probably didn't. He wasn't ever going to voice how hard he worked, but watched a ton of film, was really prepared every single week, and knew exactly, that where he was supposed to be. You could just count on him, and I think that's that is what great players, I think, are. It's not anything where, they're doing all these, crazy things. It's consistently good, not occasionally great. And he was consistently good, and when you threw the ball in his area, he was going to catch it and go make something happen with it. I think the only thing that he never did, and there was a play, we should look it back. I think he returned a ball like 92 yards or something like that one time and got caught at the 1 yard line. And that was probably the only thing in a Hall of Fame career that he didn't have. I don't know if he ever had a pick six. And I think one time he should have had one. I might have missed a block for him too as well up the sideline. And he let me know it. I mean, like you said, just kind of those silent assassin type guys, but great player. And like I said, excited for him and for his family to be able to receive that honor.
That's what it's all about, right?
There you go.
Making the friends.
I can answer that. I can clarify on that. Kelly did not have one pick six.
Well, I know you're not in studio here with us, Craig, but yeah, he shook his head no when he heard that. He's like, I didn't.
Hey, so to Schmidt, one last thing real quick, boys. To Schmidt's point about him just being in the right place at the right time. We're playing Northwest Missouri State, okay? 1999, first round of the playoffs. We go down there, we lose in overtime, 2013. They'll go on to run the table, win the championship, which, by the way, that team was super stacked. We should have won a title. Yeah. But anyway, my point is he blew his coverage in the red zone. The tight end gets behind him. They throw the ball right into the tight end's hands. He falls down. The ball flips up in the air, and Kelly, it just lands in Kelly's bread basket, basically. And he just 2 steps inbounds and pick, touchback. That's the type of shit that Kelly did.
A lot of luck on that one. It's called getting beat and the guy falling down.
I remember that play?
Yeah, I got beat. Yeah, he fell down, ball pops up, I grab it. Like, hey, interception, right? No, but it was...
I think he kicked it up in the air, so I just thought it was unreal. Anyway.
Yeah, some guys get lucky, I guess. But
well, I'm guessing a few more of these stories will be shared over the weekend, and probably at every get-together. Do the stories get a little more nonfiction than fiction as you get older?
I get better every year, put it that way. Yep, and Bubba's probably the only one who remembers all the screw-ups and how bad things were. The rest of us have forgot them all, and all we remember is how good we were, right?
Yeah, well, it was fun today, and Craig, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll have to get you on again.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on again, and hopefully we have better officiating moving forward. I haven't seen officiating like that since Joel Heitkamp was being an umpire on the field in the NCC days.
The UND Football 360 pregame show is brought to you by Rumors Sports Bar, Grill and Casino, Development Homes, Inc., Gaming, Simulcast Horse Racing, Electronic Pull Tabs, Blackjack, and the Pig Wheel, Interstate Industrial, Oilfield Services, TankLogo.com for all your promotional product, corporate apparel needs, and e-commerce platforms, TankLogo.com. And the Kelly Howe Agency with Nodak Insurance. Call today, 701-532-0624. Let's take a trip around the Missouri Valley from last weekend. South Dakota finally gets on the board. They beat Northern Colorado, and a lot of people surprised that Northern Colorado has had 2 tough ones in a row this year, but they lose 24-17 to South Dakota. Were you surprised?
No, not after that Colorado State debacle where they should have won. So no, they're looking all right. Ed Lamb's doing a good job out there. Northern Colorado looking better. South Dakota just isn't gelling early like we talked about. I mean, we don't need to beat on it, but they were lucky to get out of there. It was a late overtime, I believe. With the win. Yeah, I watched some of it, and Northern Colorado's looking better. So it was fairly even, good football game, even matchup.
I think we mentioned it briefly, but really the transfer portal. That's everyone kind of says, boy, you can really see it's taking effect on South Dakota.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Let's see. Around the league, Illinois State beats Eastern Illinois 42-30. Getting
30 is a little too much, but good to see him score 42. Typically, Illinois State isn't a high-scoring team, so it's a decent win.
And
for
you
them,
said Eastern isn't even close to what they have been in the past.
Tony Romo isn't walking through that door. All right.
Michigan State defeats Youngstown State. That's 41-24. Was that closer early on?
I think so. I think Youngstown hung around. So they're an interesting team. I mean, they always have decent players. They're running Brungard at quarterback a lot now this year. And he took off against us last year, just running all over the place. But yeah, it's kind of a designed deal this year. So we'll see. We'll see how it holds up. But they have a decent team coming back.
Northern Iowa and Eastern Washington play to a 17-14 game. Northern Iowa picks up the win. I'm guessing Eastern Washington not that strong from what you've told me about UNI this year.
Yeah, they're down.
I just listened to you, Kelly, by the way.
It was 14-0 at one point. In the second half, I believe Eastern Washington had to score in the second half to get those points. I mean, they're down. Yeah, I think it was a pretty ugly game, and it's going to take Northern Iowa a little time to right the ship. But they like I said, they got a new coach steps us in there. It'll be a work in progress. But yeah, I don't think Eastern Washington's very good this year.
Not knowing the teams real well around the league, looking at this one, I was like, wow, South Dakota State beats Drake 37-21. I thought that'd be a bigger score. I don't care how good Drake is this year.
Yeah,
or
Jacks.
if the Jacks are down.
Yeah,
that's one you gotta have a little bigger spread in that one, I think, don't you?
Yeah, you'd hope so. I think their fans were hoping so. I mean, I don't think it was a clean performance by any means. It was a little letdown, coming off the big Montana State win. So you got to factor that in. But, they won, and Drake is probably the class, top 2 in the Pioneer League. So, yeah, you don't want it to be 37-21, but I get it. With all the change, like you said, coaching and portal at South Dakota State, I mean, they've had as much change as anybody. So, yeah, it's going to take them. They might be a completely different team second half of the year.
Southern Illinois beats, is it UT Martin?
Yep.
37-10.
I watched some of that. Up front, Southern Illinois controlled it. UT Martin wasn't very good on the line of scrimmage. They had some decent players, but it was just kind of methodically they pulled away. And Southern Illinois is decent, and not overly dynamic team, but they had good pieces. And like I said, their defensive front was really tough.
Georgia State beats Murray State 37-21.
Yeah, that's about.
You didn't
what
watch
you'd
any
expect.
of that one?
I didn't catch any of that one, Tank. Sorry.
Thank goodness for the plus, though. You can go back and watch that, huh?
Yeah, yep.
You have trouble sleeping this week. Well, that'll do it. That is our trip around the Missouri Valley. Rumor Sports Bar, Grill and Casino, a fabulous place to pregame and postgame, or watch the game when the Hawks are on the road. That's maybe what we should do later in the year when our schedules slow down. Hopefully, maybe a road trip up to Grand Forks for a road game.
Catch the game
at Rumors. I wonder if Billy's got a cot in there for us so we could just sleep over there on Saturday night. It's a long ride home, but thanks to Rumor Sports Bar, Grill and Casino for the 360 game preview. Valparaiso. I told my mom, don't expect much of a game. They're more of a basketball school than football. They put the name on the map for basketball, but she was like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, it should be a pounding, and I hope we do it. 3 o'clock at the Alerus Center. Now, Valpo, the Pioneer League is we call it the non-scholarship league of the FCS, but there's ways around that, right?
Grant in aid.
Okay.
And we got money for you. I know my kid's getting them right now from all those private schools. It's amazing. As long as you open the email, it's $10,000 off their tuition. I mean, honest to God, you open the email and click on the button, $10,000 off our $42,000 a year cost. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so they lose to Western Illinois last week, 52-30. They've lost to Adrian.
Yeah, something called Adrian.
D3 school that isn't great.
No, they're not, and they were 6-4 last year. D3. Now, it's not meant to disparage D3. It's just saying, okay, are they North Central? Are they Mount Union, Mary Hardin Baylor? No, they are not. Adrian is none of those. If they were one of those, I'd get it, okay, because those teams are pretty good. But, they lost 10-7 to Adrian. It's like, and lost to Western Illinois. I think it was actually 51-38. That was a typo there, but
so let's maybe look at it this way. Coming off the first 3 games, we've been told we have the toughest schedule in the FCS this year. Do you like this game right now for this program?
Well, yeah, it's probably a good break. Yeah, they probably can come home. And actually, I'm guessing there are a handful of guys that need to rest or need to prepare to rest. I guess play in the game, and then hopefully we can get a lead. And they, because we're banged up pretty good, especially tight end, fullback, O-line. We're down a couple now. D-line, we're really down with Braden Moore. Got hurt again. Yes. He's out for the year now. Jeez, that kid cannot catch a break. Worked his butt off to get back. I mean, all last year, because he blew out his knee the first game of the year, I think, and just worked hard, got back, ready to go, was contributing, and then breaks his leg. And it's just like, I feel terrible for that young man. So we're without him now. So the D-line is razor thin for UND. So I think secondary-wise, I think we're okay. Bennett Walker would probably sit out. No, we got to remember, I think UND has a bye next week. So we got to remember that. Okay, so they can play guys, but you can stack your weeks off here. So I don't know if Bennett Walker, I don't know if he'll play in this one again, because he might as well just get him ready.
Blewett did okay in his.
Oh yeah. And that was the previous part of this, but it was Blewett. I mean, here's the funny thing about that though, Blewett wouldn't be playing if Bennett Walker wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
Because we'd have started Grant Nolan on the other side. I mean, Blewett had the game of his life. So okay, but anyway, Valpo's picked 10th in the league, in the Pioneer League. Last time they came, I think it was 69-10. We beat Valpo years back. They just don't, they're underfunded, they're undersized, and it's a game you got to methodically win. I'm not, it's just one of those you have on the schedule, and we get it. It's the same as if you sent us down to Bryant-Denny Stadium. All right, we got to play Alabama. All right, well, they'd be like, all right, we better win this thing, comfortably or whatever. That would be their thought process. Well, this is our version of that.
So going into this, you probably tell the starters, just go get your work done, right? Yeah. Get your work done. And then the coaching staff really probably is excited to see what those second and third team guys learned from their time against Portland State, because we addressed it. They weren't happy with at the end of the game. Happy with the W, but not happy with the finish. A lot of fans were saying we got to finish that game out. I think everybody's looking for a complete game this week.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Tank, because it's something you can build off of. They're 1-2. Okay, let's remember that now. Yeah. They're 1-2. This is not some, woo, we're 3-0. We're just gonna cruise by Valpo here and get into our bye week because we're so good. No, you're 1-2. The coach has got their attention, all right? You're what your record says you are. So you need to go out and beat Valpo, number one, and look good doing it, and just mentally into the game. We'll see how mentally into the game they are in the first quarter, because, there could be a hangover for UND this week, so do they fumble? Punt coverage is poor, just little things that's like, geez, they're just not dialed in today type of thing. Or do they just come out like they did against Portland State and just blow them away early?
From what we talked about, the way Coach Schmidt's comments were to the media after the game, to what we visited about, I'm going to say Coach Schmidt got their attention, and we're not going to see that this week. I have that feeling in me.
Well, per my sources, he got their attention right after the game in the locker room at Montana, because that was not a conversation for the lighthearted from what I saw. And, I think it was frustration, and it was frustrated at himself too. I mean, coaching is a part of it too. You got to take responsibility as the coach. It's not always the players, and stuff. So you combine it all together, and I think he got their attention, and they'll be ready to go this week. It's a big weekend. It'll be a big crowd, festive atmosphere. It'll be fun. And I don't envision the scoreboard being an issue this weekend, but I think everybody just wants to make sure they bounce back, be 2-2 as you head into the bye.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. I looked at last time they played, 69-10.
Yeah.
I was thinking, 60 to 3 or 7. I don't know. I think 10 is too many. I really do. I hate to say it, but let's go 63-7.
Okay.
63-7 is what I'm going to go.
Yeah, that could be. Since I'm a little bit of a hangover, I just don't know if there's going to be any special teams. There could be something breaking in special teams because Zach Lewis, he likes to take chances back there in those punt returns. Boy, he'll catch it when you're about 2 feet away from him and try to run. And I'm like, but it feels like one of these times he's going to want to take off.
You watch him in the secondary close ground at times. It's like,
he's a good player.
Where did he come from?
Yeah, he's
good.
Fast. Yeah, he can run. And, I think I'm going to go a little bit less this week. I think I'm going to do 56-10, something like that. I think they might get to 10, with something like that. It just eventually as it goes on. But 56-10, nice, comfortable win. And then, like I said, get to the bye week. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. But then you should have guys back coming after the bye week with like Hayden Stay, Baymeyer. They might have a chance, later on after we get.
Anything specific you really want to see from these first teamers? Something that's maybe kind of bugged you the first few weeks?
I want to. I don't know if I'm wrong on this, but I want to see the running backs going harder in the hole. And I don't know if it's just me. Now, I've had people argue with me and say, I don't know about that. They look like they're hitting. I'm like, all right, no, I'm not doubting them as players, but it doesn't feel like they're hitting the hole as hard once the hole's established. Now, I know they got to, against Montana, you got to pause a little bit and find the hole just because they're twisting and stunting up there. But this week wouldn't be like that, and you know where the hole's going to be. It's where it's designed to be. And I want to see more up front out of the running game. I want to see more power. I want to see more explosion. I want to see more dragging guys, that type of thing. I think Seidel, obviously, he shot through holes, no problem. Great. Kansas State, awesome, great. But I just want a little more from all three of them, put it that way, this week.
And that's kind of what I was thinking, too, because I even said it to Isaac Frichte, offensive coordinator after the Portland State game. I said, did you want to see a little more out of your running back room? Because the quarterbacks did so much of the running. I kind of forgot all about those guys in the running game, but I think they ended up with, over 200 yards rushing, and it wasn't all the quarterbacks, but they kind of got overshadowed, I thought, by Javance and Jerry in that game.
Yeah, Jerry, he could run around the end in that one.
Yep, they did well. So should be a fun one, homecoming. Congrats again, Kelly. You signing autographs before the game, or...
No, I found out I am going to join Ryan and Brian Sean, though, up at, I don't know, sometime during the game I'm going to go up and join them, but hopefully hopefully they give me some time to, I don't know, I'm kind of worried about the cocktail situation, Tank.
Ooh.
By the time I go on the air, it could be a little... I've got to keep myself under control here before I go on.
Almost 30 years of broadcasting. I've had my moments, and I'll give you some tips when we're done with this in case. Have lots of breath savers.
Yeah, there you go.
No, well-deserved honor, and to everyone going in. It should be a fun weekend. Friday night, you'll be at the banquet, and then probably catch Kelly before because you're going to football game right afterwards, right?
Yeah, I got to head back real quick, catch a Shanley game, just because kid's a senior. Landon's a senior. I don't want to miss it.
Do you have to be in the parade Saturday?
No parade?
I
don't think so. No parade. I'll be out at the parade in the tailgating lot, though. I'll be in there. So, but, we'll get back up, 10, 11 in the morning and get out there and get ready to go, have a good time. And then just to, take in the game and go down on the field at halftime and stuff. So, it'll be a fun weekend.
Cool. Looking forward to it again. Congratulations and enjoy the game and tell your friends about the UND Football 360. We appreciate everyone listening and the continued support. So enjoy the game and we'll talk to you next week.